Hi and welcome to this video. Today we want to talk about how to create high converting email marketing campaigns without having to build your entire newsletter strategy around discounts. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because we had a couple of cases where we came in after old agencies and we had to basically start everything from scratch. And that's a bummer because as a brand, you acquire leads and you acquire shop visitors for increasingly more budget and you don't want to burn them. And in the past cases, we had situations where we had to just start from scratch with a list of 1 million emails. And that's a bummer. You don't want to do that. You would want to build your email marketing channel into your most profitable retention channel, including WhatsApp and SMS, depending on the country. So you don't want to damage margins as well. But the worst thing that happens over time when you build your entire strategy around discount codes is you condition your customers to buy only when you have sales going on. Like I just mentioned, one of those accounts had this huge issue that the agency before, they were just blasting out 50%, 70% discounts almost every day. So at some point when the brand went more towards value-driven content, the list didn't respond anymore and they had to basically start building a list completely from scratch, which is very time and money consuming. So instead of conditioning your customers to wait for sales and devaluing your brand, you want to focus on using value first approaches, and you want to show your customers with psychology cues and with smart copy and design why your products actually make their lives easier. When it comes to email and SMS, relevant messaging is key. Quickly to me, I'm Nilüfer. I'm the founder of Retain. We are an email marketing agency that generated over 8 million in profitable attributed email revenue, and we help you making email, SMS, and WhatsApp your biggest retention drivers. Anyway, if you want to connect on socials, here's my LinkedIn and my Instagram. Instagram is a bit more private, but hey, still there for it if you want to see my behind the scenes. Anyway, for incentives that you can use in general to not solely rely on discounts is, first of all, shipping. So if you want to urge someone to buy from you, you can incentivize with they get free shipping or the order gets dispatched on the same day. Free bonuses, for example, if you can add freebies or travel packages when you have supplements, for example. Early access is amazing, especially when you're planning bigger campaigns like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You want to stretch the campaign, multi-channel, and basically coordinate all your marketing channels to create a funnel. And you want to collect early access emails and people that get access to campaigns and to launches, to drops before everyone else. And then after that happens, you want to communicate that you sold out. If you did, you don't shy away from communicating that because that creates FOMO, as you can see here, and scarcity as well. Just communicate that, you don't have high stock, you have high demand, and communicate that you lost last time you sold out after a couple of minutes, if that was the case, because that creates urgency and that teaches your customers, hey, there's a high demand, and that creates incentives instead of just throwing out discount codes and your margins out of the window. When it comes to creating your content calendar, you want to be very strategic with it. So you want to one of the main things that you can do in newsletter marketing and in email marketing in general, you want to always view it as a community channel as well if you want to create a sustainable relationship with your customers. So you want to have multiple pillars that talk to multiple funnels. Ideally, you segment people that are belong to different categories. Some are VIP customers. Those are your biggest fans. They will basically buy anything that you send out. So there you would especially not want to work with discounts because they already are a fan of your brand and your product. Then you have people that need a bit more nurturing, and with them you can give out so much free value and create problem awareness, especially if you have a high explanatory product. And what you can do is you can provide value in your newsletters and really talk about pain points of your customers and subtopics. And then you can link those to the blog post. And in the blog post, you would want to embed related products. Then desire amplifications, you would really want to show before and after images. So you don't want to sell the steak, you want to sell the sizzle. So you don't want to sell the product, you want to sell what the product can do for them and how your product makes their lives easier. And that's the best way to do that is by showing social proof. So letting your customers speak for you. If you have before after images, if you, for example, coaches do that all the time, they have client results, and that's their marketing, and it works wonders because you get proof, you get trust. Education is also amazing when it comes to warming up certain segments of your list to create more awareness around a problem, especially when you're planning to for a new drop or for a new launch and you want to use a couple of weeks prior to educate and warm up the list to your launch so that they are aware how this solution will help with their problem. You want to also create urgency and communicate transparently. So that really goes back to what I mentioned. You want to create FOMO. And the best way to do that is just by being transparent, because you as a brand, you have, especially when you're in the early stages and you're struggling with the amount of demand and you're struggling with fulfillment, just say it. Just communicate with your list and tell them that you had high demand and that you sold out very quick and that you're doing your best. That not only creates trust because it's authentic, that creates FOMO. So next time people know, oh shit, if I miss this launch, I will have to wait so long. Define has an amazing strategy. They launch and they sell out so fast, and then when they relaunch or restock, you would have to wait. And sometimes they restock the entire collection, sometimes only a couple of colors or a couple of variations. And it's annoying, but that creates so much urgency that when next time they relaunch or restock, as a customer, you are trained that I have to be super fast, otherwise I have to wait again. So don't be afraid of letting your customers wait sometimes as well, especially when you're scaling your brand. And what really created the best results with all of our clients so far, and we tested this in multiple industries. So we had textile industry, fashion, we had wellness and supplements, we had hair care products, we had a beauty brand, and with all of them, we implemented a signature series. So similar to social media, you want to think, what is something that makes your newsletters unique? And signature series can be anything from, for example, if you have a fitness brand, clothing, you could send out a weekly training program. You could start challenges with your newsletter. And that way you provide value. If you have a more emotional target audience, for example, when it comes to maternity products, or we once also worked with a brand, they were doing supplements for couples that wanted to become parents and had hormonal issues, so that they would sell supplements to help with hormone balance and help increase the chances of becoming pregnant as a couple. Especially when it comes to emotional industries like that, you can really work with super personalized copy. You can talk about, sub niches like the mental pressure that comes along with these things. Also sharing some stories from other customers. So really, really resonate and connect with your customers on a deeper level. They will highly appreciate that. We've seen amazing results with that. As you can see here, we made revenue with one email that went out to a super small segment and made 5.8K, and no product was placed, no buying CTA, no buying incentive was placed at all. So this is only coming from, hey, I received value as a customer, so I'm gonna buy. And I appreciate that. And that also creates the psychological law of reciprocity, as written by Dr. Robert Cialdini in his amazing book, Influence. When you get value, that creates the urge to give something back. And in that case, that could be engagement, purchase, or trust, as in a conversion. When you do that over time, your customers will really appreciate that because they feel heard and they feel like they're not being sold some things, but they feel like they get value. And when they see that they get value, they open your emails more happily, and they get excited to read your emails because you're giving something for free, and it's selfless, and that creates a deep bond with your list. Key metrics that you want to track is for your newsletter. You want to track open rates, click-through rates, revenue per recipient, and the unsubscribe rate. So you want to check if your content is actually resonating with your customers. If not, you have to kick it. You have to really keep track of these things to understand that what you communicate resonates the best and what doesn't, and then you want to double down on what works and you want to reuse that. So when you see that emotional content really resonates with your audience, you would want to dive deeper in that and not only implement that in your signature series that you send out once a month or once a week, you would also want to implement that for future campaigns and multi-channel strategies, since that says a lot about your customers' character traits. How to increase open rates is you want to focus on attention grabbing subject lines, so pattern interrupt, bold emojis, sometimes even little typos on purpose. You want to really enjoy that with care, but you could use those little pattern interrupts to stand out, and you want to always keep your subject line in preview as short as possible. Also, you want to make sure to segment based on who you're targeting. Not every segment is on the same stage of the funnel, and you want to again personalize your messaging as much as possible, and you want to exclude unengaged segments to keep your domain health. So if you don't land in the main inbox, you're reducing your chances to getting opens and conversions and whatever it is that you're trying to do with that email to almost zero. So in order to not risk that you land in spam and that you land in the promotion tab, you want to exclude unengaged segments and really make sure that 80% of your messaging gets opened, gets clicked, and sometimes even gets responses. So encourage your list to respond because that's really good for your list and your domain health. And you want to always test your sending time. Depending on the market that you're selling to. So for example, if you're sending out emails in the US only, so North America or Australia or both, you would have different times. You would always want to send the campaigns based on the country that you're or the time zone that you're sending to. And Klaviyo also has a feature where you can test with the smart send time, and you want to analyze what is the best time for your list, when are they most active, and that's exactly when you want to message them. When it comes to creating high converting designs, it's super important because when you have clear designs, clear copywriting, you don't have to try super hard. In this case, we do have a small discount, but still, you don't always have to overdo it with 30%, 40% when you can make it as easy as possible for someone to buy. So we really want to work with psychological cues and triggers here. In the header, you always want to have your emotional hook. So make it very clear within the first 3 seconds why this message is crucial for your recipient to read and why they should give you their attention, which is nowadays the most expensive form of the most expensive resource that you can have. So you want to really hook them, offer incentive, just put in the main point of the email into the header, make it very clear to understand and to read, and place your CTAs as visible as possible and make them super easy to understand. When it comes to copywriting and design, we A/B tested so many different variations across multiple accounts, and the simpler, the better. Sometimes even no design emails perform best. You want to always consider if a 6-year-old understands, if a 6-year-old can read and understand everything visually and logically, and the content of that email, then it's probably a really good one. Anyway, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you need any help, feel free to message. If you want to get this document sent. I will either link it in the bio if this is on YouTube, or if this is on LinkedIn, just shoot me a message. You have to be connected with me. Comment under this video, comment newsletter, and I'll send it for you to check out and to implement for yourself.